So the whole rig I got for $100, a 400-watt bass amp. Just the like if you just got a cabinet with a 15-inch speaker in it for like rated at that that many watts or whatever. That I mean, usually people sell those for like $200 to $400 just on its own. So it's got this crappy amplifier in it.
What kind of bass is that?
This is probably the quintessential bass guitar. It's a Fender Jazz bass, and it's really like super popular. I mean, almost everybody would use a lot of people use this bass. This particular one with this particular color, I think it's a like an alder. It's an American-made bass, so that kind of makes it a little bit better. It's got like a beefier body this way. It's fatter, and it's got nicer hardware on it. Being an American-made instrument, it's made in Corona, California. And this particular guitar, this color scheme on here was only available for a couple of years, and I suspect it's because of this. It's the original owner of this bass didn't even really know that the finish was kind of cracking in here inside these horns. But he said, so the guy, I bought a bass almost exactly like this. First so there's another kind that doesn't have the offset body like that. That's Fender bass. It's called a Fender P bass or precision bass. A little bit different pickup configuration and stuff, but it's got like a fatter neck too. Like it's like the neck is wider down here. And so I originally bought one like this with this finish when it came out in 2000 or 2002 or something like that. And I found the P bass neck was a little bit too big. It was uncomfortable for me to play, and it had this kind of rosewood fretboard on it. So I traded that. Actually, that bass became Marcus Miller's bass. He's a famous jazz bass player. So a friend of mine kind of brokered this deal where he traded it to me, and then they got me this same bass except with the rosewood neck. And then I don't know I had that when I lived at Abbey Street, and then I don't know what became of that bass. But then this one I saw online on Craigslist for like $850, and it was like in the middle of the night that the guy posted it. What happened?
Play it.
So I'm not really a bass player. I've been learning this. There's a piece by Jaco Pastorius that's like mostly harmonics.
You can make it loud. There's no one home.
It's also out of tune. Technical, difficult part. So kind of playing around with that, practicing that, but really I don't really know that much about bass technique, but I've been trying to get down, like the slapping and popping stuff, just kind of out of I haven't really watched any videos or anything. There's a great, there's this chick that plays, got, I don't know, a handful of videos on YouTube of this girl. And the first one, she got sponsored by a company called Mark Bass. And she's like Brazilian or something, this chick, but it's so cute. And it's this young girl. And but she's like doing, like, I mean, she'll do like Stevie Wonder, Sir Duke. Trying to think of how that goes. All that stuff. But like,
Have you tried doing that?
No, I haven't. I'll just like watch the video another 100 times and like learn it off of her or something. But she's actually doing it on a 5-string. I don't know if there's like some of the parts that get like kind of up here in the high registers that might be too high for this guitar. But anyways, I know where the notes are. That's an E. That book that I have that's blocking the sun from burning up your records is that's got some good. The page that it's turned to, it's got a bunch of. Remember I was saying about the different chord types on the accordion. So different chord types have different like quality of a sound. You can like sort of learn by ear, like what the quality of that sound is, so that when you hear it, you can tell it's that type of chord. And so you can do the same thing on a bass, playing like single notes. Like I can, like play like strings on the bass that will simulate or just like a note at a time. The same tones that would be in like a major chord would be like. And a minor chord would sound like this. Slightly different quality, and there's that thing that I mentioned called the dominant chord. Is a really special, magical kind of chord. It's got a special interval in it called a tritone. The tritone is this. And it's a dissonant sound. It's actually, the tritone is the distance between the first note in the scale and the very center of the scale, which is in between the 4th and the 5th degrees of the scale. But it makes that dissonant sound. It's very, very distinctive. And when I played on that, I played a diminished chord. That's actually 2 tritones stacked together. So this.
On the accordion.
I played it on the accordion.
Yeah, I heard that. Yep. That's cool.
So, and that's also this chord, so that tritone you can do on a guitar on most of the normal strings. So playing the guitar is all about, or any musical instrument really, is all about the different kinds of intervals. And so an interval is the distance between two notes, as far as like a scale. Like if you drew out a scale, the notes would look like a stair step going up the scale. And so there's these different intervals, like an interval of a second, or an interval of a minor third, or a major third. That's a fifth. That's an interval of a fifth, which is called perfect, and a fourth. So guitars are tuned, most of the strings are, the interval between this string on the same fret to this string is a fourth. And then, as I said, the interval in between the 4th and the 5th is the tritone. It's got this dissonant sound, but I can do it down here as well. And so that would be like a dominant 7th chord, or a 7th chord, or like a 9th chord. Parts of those chords. Those are 9th intervals, like a flat 9. So that's an octave, which is from the starting note of the scale to the ending note of the scale, which is actually the same note. It's
G,
just-
G, C,
right,
C.
right. So this, I'm playing a D here and a D here. So then we can have like on a guitar we play like chords, or I was just doing a chord up here, playing three notes, three or more tones together. Makes a chord, and so you can also play the chord though, like I was doing here, one note at a time. It's called an arpeggio. And so what I was doing there is being like I a lot of times add chromatism, which is so that a musical scale in Western music has 12 different tones in it, but we only, for the actual scale, we only use 8 of them. So there's like either major seconds or minor seconds in the intervals. That's a minor second, that's a major second. So all the distance between each of the notes is either one of those. And then so you have like this pattern for a major scale is like whole step, half step, whole step, half step. That's whole step, half step. So chromatism then is when you're actually using the notes in between the scale tones, or basically like every tone in the scale. Or sometimes you can just like throw in like a chromatic passage or piece of a scale, so you can have like, if you just put it in between two of the notes of the scale, they call it a passing tone. You don't really dwell on it, but you can throw it in there just for, you know, like sort of continuity. Anyways, that's John's music theory. the keyboard amp, if you're not bored yet,
Another video.
the keyboard amp is fucking sick.